Red Sox club history. That is not an overreaction whatsoever. All right, so there's baseball talk. What else can we whip out here quick? Get it crossed off the list. Oh, I'm watching my freaking... Okay, so I was watching my T-Wolves all night. And they were winning pretty much the whole game here. Now fourth quarter, they let it slip away. It is 91-88. Orlando up by 3 with the ball. 1 minute and 40 seconds remain. Let's go defense. Come on, T-Wolves. Can't be losing to this garbage team. But however, we did play last night. T-Wolves played last night. We're victorious over a very good Miami Heat team in Miami. Missed that shot. Get the rebound. Come on. Call a foul. But anytime you're playing back-to-backs in the NBA, it's tough. You know, there's a good chance you're not going to win no matter where you're playing, no matter who you're playing. If you're on the back end of a back-to-back. But anyway, T-Wolves, as I mentioned earlier, 5-1 on the road this year. That is the second best road record in the entire NBA. The frustrating and confusing part is at home, they have not won a single game yet. They are 0-5. So, very weird. But one thing to tie in, of those 5 losses, or of the 6 total losses, Ricky Rubio did not play in 4 of them. He has had some injury issue. When he's on the court, we are 5-1. I want to say when he plays, we're 5-1. When he doesn't play, we're 0-5. Like, it's like the same as the frickin' home and road record or something. 91-90, just over a minute. Gets a runner. 3-point lead back for Orlando, but the T-Wolves got the ball. 93-90, just over a minute to go. Whew. But, so anyway, we got the Orlando Magic tonight. I want to say our next game is like Friday and then Monday. If you're a T-Wolves fan, probably be coming back home for those. This first month or two of the schedule, at least for the T-Wolves, it's basically 2 games home, 2 games road, 2 games home, 2 games road. You're not getting big 3, 4, 5 game road trips or big 3, 4, 5 game home stands either. It's pretty much pairs is what we're getting right now at the beginning of the season, and I kind of like it. Since we don't have a ton of time and we have a ton of topics, my final quick take on the T-Wolves moving forward, or at least where the club is at, is that as long as the top 8, top 9 guys on the roster can get and stay healthy, this is going to be a team that makes a push for a playoff bid. I'm not saying they're going to get there, but they are going to contend for a playoff spot. You can't miss that free throw. Wiggy. Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Can't you see? Sometimes your shots just hypnotize me. Dang it. But anyway, we'll be talking plenty of T-Wolves over the next several weeks, several months. We're just getting started. Not going to go league-wide standings and stats here for the NBA, but we do have just a bit of league news. As I mentioned earlier, my fellow Minnesota residents will recognize this name. Kevin McHale, head coach of the Houston Rockets, who were in the Western Conference Finals last year. Game 6, I want to say it took 6 games to take them out. Made it 12 games this season, and he got fired. That's right, Kevin McHale was fired today as the coach of the Houston Rockets, 12 games into this season. And this is coming off of an off-season where they gave him a 3-year, I want to say like $15 million, something like that, contract extension. So, brilliant job, Houston Rockets. Maybe it's not the coach. But the thing in the NBA especially, and NBA is a little unique, in regards to some other team sports in this way, but primarily in the NBA, it is much easier to change and get rid of coaching staff that doesn't gel with players, as opposed to getting rid of players that don't gel with coaching staff. Football, Oh my gosh, the NFL you'd never see coaches get dumped when and for the reasons that they do in the NBA. Kevin McHale, I'm pretty sure he just got to the point with James Harden, where James Harden, their star player, the Beard, the real MVP, depending on who you talk to, didn't like Kevin McHale anymore and what he was doing, and it's like, get this guy out of here, or I don't want to be here. And then, okay, cool. Well, a basketball coach isn't as important as a football coach. Basketball is more of a player's game. So, yeah, sure, get out of here. Holy cow, we got 14, 13, down by 2, 12. Stop that. Block, Big Cat. Timberwolves hanging on for dear life. But, so I feel bad for Kevin McHale. I mean, it reminds me of how Flip Saunders got fired the year he got fired here in Minnesota many years ago. We're coming off the Western Conference Finals, and then not being where where people thought we should be at the first half of the season, and so just get him out of here. It's a player's game. But so coaches get screwed over quite often, and I feel that's what happened here with Kevin McHale. He is a good coach, and I don't think he's the reason that they were losing. However, I didn't watch enough Houston Rockets basketball to really know. But I did have a sneaky suspicion when I was making my preseason picks that something tells me Houston's not going to be, Houston's going down because Houston overachieved so much last year. Like, they shouldn't have been that good last year. They didn't really do anything to get better, so reality should set in. But no, it's the Beard and it's the Rockets, and everyone says they're going to be good, and so I went along with it. Ugh, that'll teach me. Just always own your thoughts, your opinions. Go with your own way. You can go your own way. Don't fall. Oh, you got to be kidding me! Was that a travel? Yeah! T-Wolves got life. They obtained the ball with 6.3 seconds left. Down by 2, 93 to 91. Oh, and they still have a timeout yet, too, should they need it. So anyway, happy trails to Kevin McHale as head coach of the Houston Rockets. Don't know who their new head coach is. Don't know that it's going to make a whole heck of a lot of difference either. I just think the Houston Rockets are going to continue to go down this year, and that's all there is to it. All right, other basketball news. The college basketball season has officially began. We are a few games into the season. We'll get much more in-depth into it over the following weeks and months leading up to March Madness, which I love, as you all know. So for now, let's just go, Kentucky, Duke. They're making it. Those are two of my Final Four picks. Kansas looks to be quite good this year. Michigan State looks to be quite good. As far as your Big Ten conference goes, I would definitely think Michigan State. Wisconsin's going down big time. They lost so many people from last year's team. They don't appear to be the same club at all. Their head coach is retiring after this year. This is a transition year for the Badgers, going from being great, what they've been for the last several years now, to finally going back down to middle of the pack. You're no different than everyone else. But that's all really the Big Ten insight I got. Duke should be your definite favorite out in the ACC, I would think. North Carolina is just so, at least from what I've seen and been told. No, they're not going to overturn that, are they? I think the call was that he went out of bounds, and now they're checking the replay to see if he actually went out of bounds or not. Oh boy, and I don't think he actually did, but they can't let the play continue and count it. Then what do they do in that situation? Do they put how much time was on the clock when we said he went out of bounds, and oh my gosh, hopefully they just said it was inconclusive, out of bounds. But it's a mess. But so we'll get more into college basketball over the next couple weeks. Like I said, Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, Michigan State, they all played last night. They all looked pretty good. Big Ten, Wisconsin's going down, and Gophers aren't quite coming back up yet, though, either. And Louisville is still, in a state of flux with their scandal and whatnot. No more firings or resignings or anything of that nature yet that I've heard of, but I'll let you know as soon as I do. Okay, let's move on to balls on ice. Now that we're done with the balls dribble, that would be the basketball segment, balls dribble. Now we move to balls on ice. That would be the hockey segment, of course. Wild last night lose to Pittsburgh Penguins by a score of 4-3. They were down 4-1 early. Tried coming back late in the game, fell just short. Currently have injury issues. Parise is out. With Parise out, the scoring has been down. The first line, however, with Koivu, Niederreiter, and what's his nuts? Sutter? I can't remember, but the first line with Koivu has been really good since Parise's been out. But everywhere else, the production's kind of dropped a little bit, especially power play and just offense in general, scoring output in general. Aside from last night's game, the goalie play and defense play had been, in my opinion, significantly improved. Oh, snap! Andrew Wiggins driving into the lane, spinning, shooting, runner off the glass. Bam! He is KG's boy. Right now, that's my boy. That's my boy, KG. That's my boy. Andrew Wiggins. Top of the key. Dribbles, spins, up, off the glass. Boom. Tie ball game. 93-93. 2 seconds in regulation. Go T-Wolves. All right, now where the heck was I? Wild hockey. Like I said, aside from last night's game, the goalie play, the defensive play had been improved as of late. But you get down, you give up 4 goals early on in the game. Hard to come back from that. It's not impossible, but it's hard. So we need to see more consistent good play yet from the goalie and defense. I think so long as we see that, we'll continue to stay the course. We'll get healthy eventually. Scoring woes will turn around. Things will be just fine. However, if the goalie play and the defensive play gets shady, inconsistent, lackadaisical, that could cause some problems. And in the West, you just can't. You can't lose points. You just can't. Like, everybody's so good in the Western Conference that, like, anytime you lose, it's devastating, and anytime you win, you're just maintaining your ground. Oh, geez, you gotta be kidding me. Oh! So the freaking Magic, 2 seconds left, got the ball, cross half court, they inbounds it to a wide open streaker cutting through the lane. Number 12, whoever number 12 is, catches it wide open streaking through the lane, turns around and goes up for the game-winning layup on the left side of the basket, and Big Cat Karl Anthony Towns comes out of nowhere and rejects that thing into the seats, and the T-Wolves are heading to overtime in Orlando. But, man, all right, I'm trying to focus. So, Wild, defense, goalies, injuries, scoring, yes. Parise, can't get him back soon enough. We miss his offense. However, I want to say Fontaine, another one of our names that's injured. Pominville is a guy. He is at his career longest drought now for games without scoring a goal. This is how bad it is for Pominville of the Minnesota Wild. Pominville couldn't score if he was locked in a brothel with a bottle of Viagra and a credit card with an unlimited balance on it. That's how bad the scoring woes have gotten for Pominville here on the Minnesota Wild. Hopefully, again, especially with the absence of Parise, he doesn't need to be a big point scoring guy for us throughout the season, but you need to be able to produce from time to time when the opportunity is there, and